God is going to be speaking some good things today. So I'm going to keep on keeping on. That's my motto for all of October. Just keep on going. So whatever it takes, I'm going to keep going. So hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. Facebook is working. Instagram is working. Everything is working. Praise the Lord. Thank you, God. So welcome to the first workshop in my October Leadership Development Series, Dream Your Team, all about helping you smash the lie that you are not meant to lead, that you are not cut out to be a leader, that you're not ready to be a leader, all those things, and help you get ready for your team that's coming in the future. They are getting ready for you as we speak. You need to start getting ready for them. So my name is Kaylin Thompson. I'm a team building consultant and leadership coach for online business women. And I help them by helping them unlock their deepest desires, their vision for their business. I help them know their strengths so that they can gather a team around them with strengths that they need to help them fulfill the purpose that God has tasked them with and ultimately advance the kingdom in doing so. So before we jump in, I want to hear all about you. I want to know whether or not you're watching the replay or like right now. Tell me in the comments your name and where you are on your leadership journey. If you are currently leading a team, if you're preparing for your team, if you're working at a 9-to-5 and you're leading teams there, if you're looking to make your first hire, where are you on the leadership spectrum? Okay, so tell me in the comments, put your name and who you are and all that stuff. So a little about me. You've probably seen in my bio or just wherever I'm talking these days that I call myself an accidental leader, and that's so true. So honestly, I never wanted the first leadership role that I was asked to step into, and I didn't know that I wanted it. So let me rewind a little bit, and I want to ask you a question. So all through my life, I have been really embarrassed by my desire to lead. And looking back, I kind of realized that I had been like putting it aside and putting it on the back burner and kind of trying to hide it because I was embarrassed by it. I remember like even back in middle school, wanting to have and express all my ideas and just take the lead. And I was ostracized for it and told that I had too many ideas and to let other people, of course, I was probably being like really rude to everybody, but so I shut up and I dreaded group projects from there. I remember one time in college, I didn't sign up for a class because I saw in the curriculum that a group project was required. Like it was a third of your grade. And I was like, I'm not going to be in a group project. So yeah, I called myself bossy. People told me I was bossy. So I tuned it down. I shut my ideas off. I literally piped down. If you knew me in high school and even in college, you would label me the quietest person. I never talked. No one even knew that I had a personality. No one even knew hardly that I existed. I hardly even knew that I existed. Let's get real. So I want to know if you guys have ever felt this way. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever felt this need to hide your leadership and felt embarrassed by it and felt that it was overwhelming? Or have you ever felt icky about it or made to feel icky that leadership was like this driver in you, this desire to step up and lead every chance you had? I want you to tell me about it. DM me if you want, message me, put it in the comments here. Have you ever felt that way? So yeah, when I first stepped into this leadership role where a team was actually looking to me for direction and support, I just constantly believed that I was not cut out for this, that I wasn't meant to be here. So how did I even get to that job, right? The thing is that it was a complete accident. Don't tell them. If you guys are watching this, if the person who hired me is watching this, I'm sorry. But yeah, it was an accident. I had just joined an online agency as a social temp, and then I grew to content strategist, and then they asked me to be marketing director, and I was like, heck yes! And so don't ask me why I didn't think that that meant leading a marketing team. I just kind of thought that I would be like managing projects, reviewing work and all this stuff, and just working on my computer, not talking to anybody ever, just like looking at work and making edits and stuff. It sounded like the dream, right? So right after I accepted that promotion, I actually had my baby like 6 weeks early. So it was totally unplanned. I did not expect that. I thought I'd be able to settle into the position, start making it my own, and then take some time off. But no, she came really quick. And so I took a month off. And during that time, I kept getting these notifications like, joined leadership Slack channel or invited to leadership team meeting. And I was like, what is this? This is weird. So the day that I returned from maternity leave, I actually had, I was scheduled for a meeting with the leadership team that day. And to be honest, I thought I was getting fired. I was like, this is not good. And so I went to the meeting and they just carried on. And I was like, do they even know that I'm here? So let me tell you, it threw me for a loop when they actually asked for my opinion on a decision that they were making. And I was like, oh, you want me here? What? So it turns out I had been asked to come on to the executive leadership team, and I was asked to help lead the entire team, which at the time was about 25 women. And to be honest, I sucked. It was horrible. I did not know what I was doing. I did not know how to lead. I didn't even know, I was floundering. And every team meeting I held, I thought, they can see right through me. They know that I'm not supposed to be here. And I wondered, so many people have been at this company longer than me, so why me? Why was I asked to be here and not someone else? That fear kept me from actually truly leading. And let me tell you something, this fear actually stems from the mindset I was still functioning in under the traditional team system. I was thinking about the way that teams traditionally function and traditionally work. And it felt off for like 6 to even 9 months. And so that's why we're here today. I want to talk about why and really what the teams that you'll be leading will truly look like, and how that's actually different than what you've ever known before. So let's go back to our feelings of ickiness and leadership. When you think of a boss, what do you think? Personally, I think of Michael Scott from The Office. I don't know if you guys watch the show. I'm sure you've heard of it, but I actually adore Michael. He's like the biggest jerk and a weirdo, but I gotta be honest, I think so am I sometimes. I think we're similar in a lot of ways. We're dreamers. We romanticize things. We go crazy when we get ideas in our heads. I want to know, what do you think of when you think of a boss? So when you think of the word boss, it might actually be something negative, or you might have these negative feelings that you don't really know how to label. So I want you to take note of that perception of what leadership is to you and how it's determined by your experience with it. So that feeling that you have, how is that shaped by where you've been and who has been a leader to you? If you had a fantastic boss who pushed you to grow and believed in you, you may be really excited to lead and you may love doing it. If you had a terrible boss who pushed you and drove you and had high expectations that were totally unrealistic, or maybe never even set expectations, you may associate being a boss with that person in the way that they made you feel. So I want you to take notes of that and take note of that. And I want to know, have you ever felt uncomfortable in a position of leadership, or have you ever been felt resistant to the idea of leading a team because your experience with teams and leadership has always felt off, you may actually be dreading the day that you have to lead a team, because this idea of a boss in your mind, just like, it doesn't feel aligned with who you are at your core. It doesn't feel aligned. And you may even have said the words like, that's not for me, leading a team is not for me, I'm not ready, that's just not who I am. You may have said that. That was me. That's what I've said, because I had rejected that desire of leadership in me. So let's talk about this. Today, I want to set the record straight and say, yes, leading a team is for you without a doubt. We can all lead teams because you're feeling this way, you're actually going to be a pioneer in the future, and you're going to propel your team forward where other business leaders who function in the old way can't. And you're actually setting yourself up for success. So I want to tell you about how entrepreneurs are actually changing the function of teams for good in the world. It's never going to be the same. And sorry, I have something in my eye. So here's what the traditional team system looks like, in the traditional way that leadership is allotted looks like. In the traditional sense, in the traditional system, what we grew up in and associating leadership with, authority exists vertically. The time that you've spent with the company and the role that you play, that is what garnered you respect, even if it wasn't actually like earned, like from your heart. If you've been there the longest, given the most time to the company, if you have a title that puts you above somebody else, that meant you're a leader. So this is why leadership felt off to me in that first job. I had not been there the longest, and I had a title that I didn't earn with time. So imposter syndrome took over and told me, you aren't a leader. You're not supposed to be here. So in the teams of today, how entrepreneurs are leveling the playing field, entrepreneurial teams look like this. Authority exists horizontally. What that means is this: everyone earns their leadership by stepping into their strengths and owning their zone of genius. A leader, a boss, a CEO, your job is no longer to lead from the top. You no longer have to do it alone. But rather, you lead by supporting each team member to be a leader. You're leading leaders. And as a leader of leaders, that puts you on a level playing field, because you rely on your team members just as much as they rely on you. That sounds amazing, right? So what is the distinction? What makes you different? Like, what makes you a leader if you're on a level playing field with your team? It's the role that you play. You are the person that is the protector of the vision and the purpose and why you're here. And you are the servant to the people. You protect the vision and you serve the people. You make sure that the people know where they're going and that they have all they need to get there. That's your job. So how does that feel? Like, I'm curious. I want you to message me and tell me, now that we're talking about this new way of leadership, how does that feel to you? Do you feel less resistant? Do you feel more excited to lead? Or does it make things more confusing for you? I want you to let me know. So I was actually talking to a client the other day on Voxer, and I was talking about all these thoughts, and she said she actually went and got a whiteboard while I was talking on Voxer, and she started taking notes and writing down questions and ideas as I was talking. And she said that every time she wrote a question, I talked about it on Voxer. She said, you are seeing something that people are just feeling right now. You're seeing patterns and predicting the future. And I just want to be really vulnerable right now with you guys. So I did not include this in my original notes. Minutes before I came on here, I wrote this. But I just want to tell you what I'm seeing for the future of entrepreneurship and the future of teams. So, to be honest, I've really been sensing a rumble. God is moving and working, and I'm getting the growing sense that we're actually being prepared for the future. And things are shifting in the way that we work as a culture, as humans, the way that we desire work, and the way that we execute and live out our work. You've probably seen and felt the flux of entrepreneurs in this space. Just over the past several months, there's so many of us, and we're coming in droves, and it's amazing, right? But it's also overwhelming because the only way to stand out is to like niche all the way down and yell at the top of your lungs. We rebelled. So right now, you and I, us entrepreneurs, at this point in time, we're actually straddling two work economies, the brick and mortar and the virtual. We rebelled. We saw an opportunity. We rebelled because the old system was not serving us. We saw an opportunity forward and we took it. We're pioneers, but where pioneers go, masses follow. And I'm seeing God preparing us, those of us who are here right now, to lead the masses when they come to this space. Are you ready to welcome people in? Are you ready to lead them, to serve them? Because the reality is not everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur. If everyone was a visionary, nothing would get done. If everyone was like me, hardly anything would get done. We would just be on Instagram Live all day. So I just want to say that you being here, you watching this video, this replay, wherever it exists, it's not a coincidence. You are here for a reason, you're here for a purpose, and you're listening to this message for a reason. And you're here in this season of our world for a reason. You are here as a pioneer in this entrepreneurial space for a very specific purpose. And I just want to say that God knows that we as humans, He created us. So of course He designed us this way. We can do more and go further together than we ever could alone. And I just want to ask you right now, does it feel tough working alone right now as an entrepreneur? Yeah, we have our biz besties and that's great. But ultimately, at the end of the day, your business rests on you. That's empowering, but it can also be so lonely. And it's lonely for a reason because we were designed for teams. And I just want to tell you that support is coming. Your purpose pursuing team is actually on their way to you. They exist right now. They are doing their own thing. They're surfing Instagram right now and they are making their way to you. So as one person, you can only go so far and do so much and see so far ahead. So because you're just one person with one perspective and only a set of strengths. To stay relevant in the global online work economy that's coming, we have to think bigger, deeper, and wider for a purpose that is bigger than our own lane. So how long can you as an entrepreneur keep casting a vision, working, making it reality, and keep doing that until you get to a place where you've grown so much that you can no longer grow by yourself? It's going to come quicker than you think because God has ordained your growth. So I need you to allow yourself permission to think beyond your current reality. So I want you to do some vision casting. Wherever you are, I want you to close your eyes or get a journal out, whatever you want to do. And I just want to present this prompt to you. So let's say your business, I know you're online, whatever, but let's say you had an office and you're sitting at your desk right now What do you hear? Are there cars driving by? Are you downtown? Are you not downtown? Where else is there from downtown? Are there voices chattering around you? What's going on? So now your alarm on your phone goes off, and it's time to lead your team meeting. And you get up, and what do you see? I want you to write down what your office looks like. How is it decorated? Is there a coffee bar? Are there couches? Are there people collaborating over there on the couches? So now you step into the meeting room and your team is there. And they have their notes out and they're talking together. They're really excited. And they see you step in, and I want you to take note of what they say to you. And now you start your meeting. What are you guys talking about? And most importantly, how do you feel? What projects are you working on? Why are you so inspired right now? So I want you to write down, wherever you are, write down one word about how your team made you feel, how that future team made you feel. And I just want to ask you, if you're being honest with yourself, is that team something that you want, crave, desire? Really? Do you really want that? Because all it takes is deciding. The hardest part in building a team is deciding that you want it. Because it's easy to hire once you've already reached the growth needed to be able to sustain an employee. But the biggest and hardest thing is to decide beforehand, before you've grown big enough to hire somebody, and to say, I want that. I want that growth. It's hard and it's scary, because what if you don't make it? But I'm here to say that that's a lie. Because if God put a desire in you, He ordained it, and He is making a way for it to be fulfilled in your life and for His kingdom. So I want you to journal through that. I want to leave you with one question. What beautiful things could happen if you have a team in the future? What beautiful things could happen in your business and in your life if you led a team? Okay, so thank you guys so much for being here and watching this replay. I know this was heavy, but I'd love to learn your takeaways. DM me, message me, email me, tell me all about it. I want to know. Okay, thank you guys so much for being here, for putting up with the technical difficulties. I appreciate you guys. I wildly believe in you. I see a beautiful future for each one of you. Man, okay. Thank you guys for being here. So join me every Thursday and Tuesday through this month, Tuesday and Thursday, through this month at 7 p.m. CST. I'll be going live, talking through my workshop series, Dream Your Team. All right, I'll see you guys on Tuesday.